see some snow flurries this next weekend.
I know. What the heck?
I know. This is the late March Madness snow flurry crap.
I believe in Chuckles. That's not going to happen. Chuckles says early spring. It's an early spring.
Anyway, if you haven't gotten your new tires yet, go to Tire Depot. So that way, if you have worn or uneven treads, you can't get into any kind of problems with a late snow flurry here in March. Central Connecticut's #1 tire source, friendly, expert service, warehouse full of tires. Get them ASAP if he doesn't have them. Cooper Tires, Michelin, BF Goodrich, Hankook, and more. Support local just off Route 6 in Bristol behind Betting Barn or online at TireDepotCT.com. Go see Tony. What school or person have we learned about through the NCAA tournament?
I don't think any of us would know who Gonzaga was or the term Gonzaga if it wasn't for the NCAA
I absolutely
tournament.
agree. I had no idea that existed.
It was like what? Was it the late 90s or was it 2000s? When was the first like Gonzaga sighting in this tournament that was like, oh my gosh, who is this team? I've never heard of that funny word.
I think I learned later that John Stockton went there. But
Yes.
It was way after they'd
So
been in
true.
the tournament.
Right.
So, honestly, I had no idea. I still don't know where Gonzaga is. I couldn't tell you on a map.
Well, don't say it because it's part of the game and
Okay,
later on at
I
5
won't.
o'clock.
Because every time you say it, I'm like, I don't even know where this place is that you're speaking of.
I'm glad you brought up John Stockton. You know, Hall of Fame John Stockton. You know, Dream Team John Stockton, like face of the Jazz John Stockton. No idea where he went to college. And then, like, his son played for Gonzaga. And then I was like, oh, man, that's nice that John Stockton's son's playing at a prestigious university in basketball. I wonder how he got. Oh, his dad went there? No idea. Gonzaga has been in my face just because of the tournament.
I brought this up the other day because of my age, but I had no idea where Indiana State was before Larry Bird. I had no idea where Michigan State was before Magic Johnson.
I had no idea where Indiana State was.
And you were in
before
Indiana?
I had no idea it was in Terre Haute. I thought it was Indianapolis because usually, and then that taught me that because this is the way I know a lot of state capitals is most of the time, and I do think Connecticut State Community College is right down the street in Hartford, the state capital. Ohio
There's
State.
a Connecticut State?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you know that? There's a Connecticut State College?
New JUCO. Or
Really?
community college.
We're from here. We had no idea.
It's right down the street.
Prestigious.
It's very prestigious. But usually, like Florida State's in Tallahassee, okay?
Yes.
North Carolina State's in Raleigh. Mississippi State is in Jackson. Like, usually your state university is in
a
the
state
capital.
Okay.
And I was like, Terre Haute, what the hell?
New Britain.
You know, that's why I thought Indiana.
CCSU.
Well, that's another thing. Like, Hartford and New Haven both used to be state capitals. And this is where I'm getting. I thought Indiana State was in Indianapolis. And then I learned, I was like, why is it be in Terre Haute? That used to be our state capital. I had no idea until I learned about Larry Bird and learned where he went to school and learned why in the hell it's in Terre Haute.
Kurt, who did you learn about in the NCAA tournament?
I don't know. Mark Few.
Yes, there's some names like Mark Few. You don't know Mark Few
Honestly,
at all.
I think it took me 10 years of watching Gonzaga before I memorized
I'm with
Mark
you.
Few was the head coach.
Maybe 15 for me.
I would always be like, that guy lost again.
And some of these schools that pop in for a little brief cup of coffee in the tournament, like Niagara.
I kind of knew.
Okay.
Well, no, you're right. You're right. I did not know. My mom is from Buffalo. I've been to Niagara Falls about 25 times. Never knew Niagara University existed until I saw them in the big dance. Florida Gulf Coast was another one. Until Florida Gulf
I'd never
Coast,
heard of it.
never heard of
No.
it, man. Never heard of it. In my parts, in my Indiana neck of the woods, I had no idea who Homer Drew or Bryce Drew was until they made that shot for Valparaiso. Now you cannot escape Drews. Like, if you see a guy with the last name Drew that's playing for an Indiana high school basketball team, you will ask the person next to you, are they related to Homer Drew? Probably. That would be awesome, though, right? High Fly Slamma Jamma. I was born in 1983.
Damn,
I
you're
know.
that young?
42, man. I did not know Clyde Drexler and Hakeem Olajuwon went there and were together like that until like I learned who the NC State Wolfpack, the Cardiac Pack, Jim Valvano beat in that game. And I do think that particular game is just so synonymous with so many things in basketball. 1983 national championship. And I did not know about those two until I had to look back in the history of the college basketball tournament. Like, man, why didn't they win that game? Fishy.
Oh, man, I was just thinking.
Very fishy.
So Kyle Macy, I got to play against this guy in a charity game, but I did not know who he was until I saw him in the NCAA tournament in Kentucky.
Yeah.
And then years later, I'm in the major leagues. We played alum from Indiana. We played an alum from Kentucky. Kenny Walker was on that Kentucky team.
Another great.
And I didn't know where he went to school. I knew he played for the Knicks.
Right.
Then these guys are suiting up against him, and I think it was Eric Davis or Barry Lar. Somebody's like, "Well, we're playing against Kyle Macy." What? We're playing against guys. These guys are good. What are we playing against? Well, it's an alumni game. I'm like, they're going to beat the crap. They beat us by like 100 points.
Kyle Macy, I only know from college basketball tournament. Like, I did not get Kentucky basketball into my system until they played Indiana every now and then. And that team in the tournament, like even Kenny Walker, I'm sorry, I know him more as a Kentucky basketball player than a New York Knick.
Dude, he jumped over me and dunked.
Awesome. That'd be worth it.
I'm 6'4".
That'd be worth it.
And he jumped over me and dunked.
I would thank him.
Honestly, I was like, I think I just got posterized.
It happened so fast.
But it did. Then trying to hit a 15-footer, brick. I can say it now because I know he's not listening, but I was like, okay, now I know he's in the alumni game, and he's like 30.
There's just so many names that were made in the tournament that did have an NBA career, but I can't even remember them bouncing a ball in the NBA. Like Christian Laettner, I know he played for Minnesota, and I have to look it up to see like highlights of him or lowlights of him playing for Minnesota. How about this one? Arkansas. This was like when Clinton was about to get inaugurated, and Arkansas won the national championship. I want to say, I might be getting this name wrong, Corliss Williamson.
I think you got
remember
it right.
that guy?
Yeah, I remember him.
He was shooting threes from out of bounds, like Corliss Williamson. Whatever happened to Corliss Williamson?
What was the head coach's name of Arkansas?
Oh,
remember that dude?
I have his face in my head.
Dude, he had Carl Malden's nose. I think it was Norm something.
Huge face.
His
face took up the whole camera.
I was just thinking about UNLV. That's what I was thinking about. Jerry Tarkanian.
There's another one.
And biting on the towel and stuff. We would have never known that. We're not watching UNLV here in Connecticut, you know. But you see them in the tournament, and you're like, oh, my God, those guys, they can play some basketball.
Not Butch Jones, is it?
No.
No.
It's like Norm something or other.
Oh, God, I got to figure this. These things burn me up inside.
All right, our friends from the Fish and Outdoor Expo is coming up.
Nolan Richardson.
I knew it was an N. Nolan Richardson. So we will be there on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Starts Friday at 3 p.m. right when our show starts. Ben and I will be down there. So we will talk to Christy Gonzalez and all the other ones coming up next.